Hi everyone, my name is Martin Gidlund. This is my colleague Jan Abrahamsson.
Thank you.
We both work at LTU Business, where we are consultants. We are daily working with business development and innovation management with a broad range of customers. It stretches from local SMEs to international research projects.
So today we're going to talk about innovation in a broad sense and also innovation in the context of the mining industry. And the overarching theme of this is why innovation is not optional for your business. It's a must. It's not something you can choose not to do if you want to grow or even if you want to survive. So Martin, can you tell us what is innovation actually?
To shortly answer the question, what is innovation? Well, it's creation. It's creating something new, it's developing something existing, or implementing something. And you can do this on a broad scale of complexity. So to simplify it, we can have a look at the innovation matrix. Basically, we could say that we are dividing innovation into 4 different types of innovation, depending on the technology newness and also the impact on the market. And to illustrate this, I thought maybe we could have a look at the market that we are all familiar with. So if we're looking at the mobile phones that we have today, so the development we often see is that the manufacturers of mobile phones, they come with new models every 2 or 3 years, where they have added new features that are increasing the performance, or the products are getting better. And this they do to sustain their position in the market. So this would be classified as sustaining innovation. But in between those periods, they are also adding design features, they may be upgrading the software, which would be considered to be incremental. It has a low impact on the market, and it has a low newness of technology. If we're looking at more radical innovation, I think if you were born in the 80s or before, you can relate to when a mobile phone was a device that you could call and maybe text from. If you were lucky and had the latest model, you could also play Snake. I couldn't, I never could. I skipped that step. But at some point, the manufacturers realized that maybe we can innovate this product somehow. Maybe we can add some new technology to the product. Maybe we can integrate a color screen and a camera. So that's when they did that, they did radical innovation. And the ultimate form of innovation would be then disruptive innovation. So still looking at the mobile phones, disruptive innovation came when the smartphone came. So they realized, okay, now we have a product where we can call, we can text, and we can take photos. But what can we do to shift this product into something else? So they innovated it by creating a smartphone that was basically a computer that you wore with you or are wearing with you all the time. And now we can't live without it. So they really shifted the market. And that would be described as disruptive innovation. Moving on, one of the big questions regarding innovation is, why should you do innovation? Well, the definition states that you should do innovation to improve efficiency, effectiveness, or to strengthen your competitive advantage. And in basic business theory, there's 2 ways to create competitive, or you can compete on a market. It's either by price or by differentiation. And so either you offer your product at a better price, or you offer a better product. And in both options, innovation is quite important. So Jan, I will put you on the spot here. Do you recognize this curve?
It looks very much like a pretty much traditional product lifecycle curve.
Exactly. It's it can vary in shape. It's a very useful curve, this curve, but in this case, we refer to as the product life cycle. So all products pretty much will experience the same phases, where you have an expansive phase, you have the maturing phase, and then you have a declining phase. So when these phases occur, differs between products. But at some point, over time, they will always occur. And this is given you do no changes to your product. But this is where innovation comes in and plays an important role. So if you start developing, renewing, adding features to your product, if you basically do innovation to your product or your offering, then this could affect the curve. So if you're doing incremental or sustaining innovation, you will be able to prolong the life cycle of the product. If you're, on the other hand, are working more with radical innovation or disruptive innovation, you can totally shift the curve. So the risk of doing disruptive innovation is much higher, because you are creating something brand new nobody has ever seen before. So you don't know if it will work or not. But so the starting path will be a bit longer. But once you succeed with your disruptive innovation, then the reward is much higher. You will be able to shift the curve and the market demand for your products. So now we learned a little bit more in general what innovation is, why you should do it, especially, and that it's actually important for your company. But it's not only important for the company. It's also, in a broader sense, it's also important with innovation for the society as a whole. And I think there's some clear trends that we could see in the society, the move towards digitalization, and also sustainability is getting increasingly important. And I think the drivers of that is innovation. And exactly, we can apply innovation in all industries. And looking into the mining industry, I think, Jan, you could maybe elaborate a bit, but you see the same trends.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what you're saying. Innovation plays a big part in solving societal problems. And one industry that we believe really plays a key part in solving societal challenges coming up is actually the mining industry. Through, for instance, the mining industry playing a big part in the electrification of society to rare earth minerals, the battery minerals, and in order to do that, of course, the industry is digitalizing its operations, and that in turn, in all, creates new business model innovation opportunities within the mining industry. And now we're going to talk a little bit about some of the trends that we have been seeing within the mining industry. Both you and I, Martin, we work with several different cases when it comes to innovation management and bringing new products to the market, targeting the mining and raw materials industry. So this is a lot derived from what we actually see in our day-to-day work, in that sense. And to sort of summarize this a little bit, we see three overarching interconnected trends in terms of digitalization, if we start off there, affecting the mining and raw materials industry. Those overarching trends is then automation, mixed reality, and digital exploration. And of course, each of them have different types of applications. For instance, if you talk about automation, you talk about things like having remote operations of a mine, self-driving vehicles, you have drones performing different types of functions. And of course, you are moving more and more towards AI-based decision and data analytics through AI. With mixed reality, you're talking about things such as digital twins. You do inspections and maintenance through augmented reality or virtual reality, and the same with supervision and support. And another thing that is really correct is using digital tools for enhancing exploration and finding new minerals and new raw material sources, which is extremely crucial and also for electrification and for basically having this sustainable transformation of society. Of course, also in terms of when you have digital exploration, you reduce waste, you reduce lead times, and you cut costs. And all of these three overarching trends here, they're contributing to opportunities for innovating your business models in many different ways, whether it's about you change your cost structure, you get new revenue streams, you have new partners, you reach out to new customer segments, you need new resources to perform activities in a different way. And to sort of elaborate a little bit on that, what is actually going on here, or giving some examples about the new business models within the mining industry, is the fact that you have new partnership structures going on. Because what happens is that in order to innovate and stay competitive and ahead of the curve, mining companies are more and more frequently collaborating with tech-savvy startups or consultants, and that is creating a whole new sort of platform for innovation and for collaboration that wasn't really there in the same way, I would say, just 10, 12 years ago in the industry. And also consultants that have been used to work with the mining industry as technical consultants, they're forced to be more tech-savvy, they're forced to act more like tech startups in the way they approach things, because they're the ones who need to work and come up with the new digital solutions to stay competitive. Otherwise, you're going to have them being out-competed by new startups who is going to start supplying the mining industry instead of them. So there's this drive for innovation in many different levels. And of course, as I said before, new types of activities, you have manual tasks becoming digital, more focus on data analytics, and of course, more remote operation and more remote coaching of staff and labor. And of course, that also means that the cost that mining companies have, they're changing as well. I mean, not least in the way they're paying for services and products. They can be paid more through subscription or per usage. For instance, software as a service or data as a service, or by the value generated by that particular service. And the good thing for mining companies here is that these new models, they enable less capital expenditure and a less need for fixed assets that you'll have on the balance sheet and have depreciation costs. And of course, on the other side of the equation, you also get new types of revenue, because what happens also is that in this sort of new partnership structure that I mentioned, you got mining companies partnering up with startups in terms of even revenue partnerships, or also equity partnerships, which means that you actually invest capital into those companies. And you can also be charging for data generated on digital platforms through your partners within the value chain. And also digitalization as such enables new products, and again, in collaboration with different partners, whether it's startups, consultancy companies, whatever it might be. And of course, resources, digital twins, autonomous vehicles, and new tools for other types of operational efficiency, as drill core scanners which use for digital exploration. And what you also then end up with is new value propositions, because by doing this, you can have the opportunity to create value propositions that goes beyond the traditional industry value chain. And of course, this also entails you all of this digitalization effort, all the sustainability effort. It gives you better execution of traditional value proposition for both new and existing segments, as demand for instance, tracking minerals or sustainability in your operations. That is something that is going to increase from the customer side as well. And one other case in point that can be looked at is, of course, one of our big mining companies here in Sweden, LTU. And what they're doing in something that sort of combines this sort of societal challenge into a new business model, which is the fact that they're going to start using their tailing dam waste to retrieve so-called rare earth minerals used for instance, battery production. And that is obviously something very new for LKAB, but it's not just about generating new products. As in effect, you're also then creating a new business model which changes the way LKAB has been doing things for the last I don't know, how long they've been in operation, 80, 90 years, something like that, Martin? Yeah. And traditionally, I mean, what they've been doing, to simplify a little bit, they've been digging out minerals from the ground, and then later on from beneath the surface level. And then either ship it out through the ports in Luleå or the port in Narvik. That's been what they're doing. Now they're looking at, okay, so what are the byproducts of our existing operations? What can we do with that? And then suddenly they're also circumventing the traditional industry value chain. And that means that they're actually having new customer segments. They have new partners. They have partially a new cost structure for doing this. And of course, also then new revenue streams coming in. So they're changing their business model in many ways by doing this, and they're also contributing to what's called a circularity, right? Because you have this closed loop of their old material flow by actually doing this. So it's a sustainable business model, it's a new business model with a new value proposition. So to sort of summarize this, it's all about how to get started, right, Martin? So, I mean, this might seem daunting, but there is actually a pretty sort of straightforward way to actually get going, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I hopefully, I mean, some of you at least thinks that, okay, well, it's fine. I got this covered. I'm already doing innovation, and I'm already thinking in these terms, and I have identified the trends that I want to pursue. But if you haven't, then I mean, there's basically 3 steps that you need to take to start your innovation journey.
Exactly, and then looking from a perspective of existing organizations already in operation of some size or some magnitude. I mean, first of all, you need to look at what is your innovation readiness within the organization. What kind of leadership support do you have? What kind of things are you already doing today? So where are you in terms of your readiness, your current state of things?
Yeah, and then also, once you establish where you are right now, you also need to establish where you want to go. So you need to formulate a strategy. How should we approach innovation? What resources should we put aside to be working with innovation?
Exactly. So, I mean, it's all about, as Martin said, you set up your goals, you set up what are your key performance indicators, what you actually want to achieve. I mean, do you want to cut costs? Do you want to have new revenues? Do you want new customers? Do you want to create new intellectual property? I mean, it all depends, obviously. So in order then to put this to action, you need, well, goes without saying, an action plan. But an action plan, when you work with innovation, that is something that needs to be lean and agile. You need to iterate on it. You need to make sure that you are objective about what you're doing. You make decisions based on data, and you're not painting yourself into a corner here because you want to make incremental investment based on what that data is telling you. So you don't overcommit, and then you have this sort of what is called the sunk cost fallacy, which means that you keep over-investing in something just because you already put money into the wrong decision.
Yeah, and basically all of these 3 steps, this is not rocket science. You can do it in different levels. You can do it yourself, or you could seek help from consultants and stuff. But we have tools and methods to basically walk you through all these 3 steps of starting the innovation journey.
Exactly. And one of those tools is what we call the Innovation Due Diligence, which is something that is battle tested through several hundred cases each year with anything starting from university researchers to large corporations. And that's a methodology that is based on cutting edge research into business management and entrepreneurship, and also, as I said before, tested rigorously in practice.
So to summarize our section here, there are some key takeaways to take with you when you leave today. Basically, you could say that innovation, it can be a lot of different things. It comes in different forms and shapes and sizes. So it could be doing some small, minor adjustments to an existing product, to developing or creating a totally new market. But it's also important that innovation is something that doesn't happen. It doesn't just happen. It's something that you actively do, and you do it to stay relevant to your customers, to keep your companies competitive advantage.
And of course, as I said before, innovation holds the key to several societal challenges that we are all facing today. And the mining industry is, in many cases, in the actual epicenter of those challenges.
And I think, I mean, if we're looking at the mining industry and the society, so the society demands a shift towards sustainability. And this has led the mining industry to present this great opportunity to say that, hey, we can actually contribute to this shift towards sustainability. So it's you can see it as an opportunity, or you can see it as something you must do. But I mean, eventually you need to step on the innovation train.
Exactly, and to properly capture the rewards for these initiatives that you may undertake, looking at digitalization, looking at sustainability, what is often required then to capture those rewards is business model innovation. Because your business model needs to be changed in order to incorporate those aspects. So meaning that you have a relevant cost structure, meaning that you have relevant partners, relevant value proposition, and new revenue streams coming in. And that is also something that is happening right now in the mining industry, and that's why the mining industry is a very exciting place to be right now.
So hopefully throughout this presentation that we've given, we actually have raised some eyes, and I hope that you now understand that innovation is not optional for your company. If you want to stay relevant for a long period of time, you need to innovate yourself.
Absolutely, I totally agree, Martin. And obviously, if you want to talk more about this with us, if you have some challenge about innovation, something you're curious about, something that we might help you to guide you in the right direction with, obviously feel free to contact us. We would love to be in touch with you.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you.